Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
Welcome back to our Morning Sports Desk State Wrestling Recap Special. I'm CJ Baumgartner, joined by Garrett Bjerga, a state champion wrestler for Staples-Motley in 107-pound weight class. Garrett, congratulations on the state championship.
Thank you.
Let's start way back at the beginning of the season. When you got things going back in November, did you think that a state individual championship was something that you could attain?
Yeah, it was a goal throughout the whole season and even before the season. Basically, since last year, making state finals, it has been the main focus on what I wanted to do, and I was able to accomplish it.
Was there any moment throughout the season, was it maybe a particular wrestling match, or maybe was it just a practice? Was there any moment throughout the season where you kind of got done and you were like, yeah, I think I'm going to be able to take home that individual title?
Well, a few. Right away during the season, I wrestled Jackson Thorne, who ended up winning AAA state, and I ended up winning. After that one, I knew I could do pretty well. And then the kid I wrestled in the state finals, Tyson, I had to wrestle him 2 times earlier in the year, and both times were close, but I was able to win. And after that, I was feeling pretty confident going into the state tournament.
And, you guys made it as a team as well. What was it like to go down there as a team and to win back-to-back state titles? How cool was it to get to go down there and win another state championship?
I think team is a lot more fun than individuals, and especially for how successful we are. But our team puts in a lot of work, and it was good to see it pay off for them.
What was it like to be down there? What was that celebration like with your teammates when you guys found out you won, when you guys realized you were going to win that second state championship?
It felt really good after all the time we put in this year, and I don't know, it was kind of expected, but we got the job done.
What do you think is one of the areas that you really excel in on the mat? What's one of those spots where, when somebody's got to go up against you, what's the number one thing they have to be aware of?
I think I'm good on my feet, but also I think I'm pretty good on top. For team finals, I was able to ride out my kid to win the match, and then individual finals, I was able to turn and get 4 near fall, which obviously helped a big part to win the match.
And, what do you think is one of the areas where you've improved the most? A spot where you feel like, hey, from the beginning of the year or maybe even last year to now, I've just gotten really good in. What would you say that area is for you?
I think I've improved a lot on bottom. Obviously, last year I got ridden out in the state finals to lose, and so I spent a lot of time working on that. And I don't think, I'd have to check, I got ridden out once all year.
And what do you think is one of those areas as you go forward? What's kind of that next part of the game you're looking to hone in on? What's another area where you're looking to improve at?
I mean, I think I can improve on all areas still, and there's still a lot to improve on in any position.
And, as you go forward to next year, what are the goals that you have for yourself? What are the goals that you have for the team now that you've kind of reached the pinnacle in both this year? What are the things that you have for yourself to try and stay motivated and keep working?
Well, obviously I want to three-peat with our team. That would be really cool. And then obviously win another individual title, along with hopefully have a few more individuals on our team win their own titles.
And, what would you say has been obviously winning state has been a top moment for you, and obviously winning it as a team, but what was kind of the moments that you've had in practice? How cool has it been? What's it like in practice in the wrestling room with your teammates every day? What have been some of those top moments throughout the season with your teammates and with your buddies?
In the practice room, we work hard, but we also have a lot of fun. We play spike ball all the time before practice, and I don't know, yeah.
And, just what was it like getting to see, obviously, not only you win it, not only your team win it, but, having your brother be there as well and being a champion? How cool is it to be right up there with him in those situations?
It makes it a lot more fun and enjoyable to win it together than just on our own. And obviously we lost together last year, so it felt good to reverse it and both win this year.
We're talking with Garrett Bjerga, who's the state champion in 107 pounds individual in Class A, also a part of that Staples-Motley state championship team in back-to-back years. Garrett, appreciate the time and best of luck going through the summer and into next year.
Thank you.
Continuing our coverage throughout the Staples-Motley state champion wrestlers and individual, we're talking with Gage Bjerga, who's the 139-pound champion in Class A. Gage, now this is your second individual state title. Just how good does it feel to be on top again?
Feels really good. Last year wasn't the best. I ended up taking second, so that definitely made this year feel a lot better. And I think I really just showed how much better I got over the year, especially from last year, and like with that tech fall in the finals. And yeah, it just felt really good overall.
And, what were some of the things that you really worked to get better at over the off season, throughout the season, leading up to now? What have been some of those areas you really tried to refine to make sure that you could come away with another individual championship?
Definitely getting to my shots, like really just, shooting and not like holding back. You practice your shots 1,000 times every week. And if you don't go out there and do them, then what's the point? And then also just hand fighting and really just setting up my stuff. That's what definitely helped.
To win a state championship, not only as a team multiple times, but as an individual now multiple times, what's the biggest part about a game that a wrestler needs if they want to be a champion like you in those situations? What would you say is the biggest advice you would give to a wrestler who wants to accomplish some of the things you've accomplished? What would you tell them is some of the most important things you have to do?
You got to put yourself out there and make connections with good partners and really just practice, every day, day in, day out. You also got to lift and you got to get your diet right. And I don't know, you just got to go out there and wrestle. You can't be scared every match. You just got to have confidence, and yeah.
And, what was it like to go down to the state tournament, to go down to St. Paul and to be able to win back-to-back state team titles? What was that celebration like with your teammates? How cool of an atmosphere was that?
It was great. Everyone really thought we were going to win, but it was also just really nice to show how Staples has come a long way over the past couple of years, and hopefully we can get the third one next year.
And, for that individual championship, obviously it was something you were working towards. It was a goal of yours, but to be able to get that moment and to have that happen, especially like you said a year ago, not being able to get there, what was that feeling like? What was kind of some of the first things that were going through your mind when you were able to win that individual title?
I don't know. It's hard to describe the feeling after winning just really any match or competition. But I would say it's one of the best feelings in the world, and that's one of the main reasons I'm in the sport. It's always chasing that high, I guess, of winning, and I don't know, it's just a really good feeling.
And, what would you say, to those outside observers, to somebody who hasn't seen you wrestle before? What's kind of some of the top parts of your game? What are the things that opponents who go against you have to account for? What makes you so tough to wrestle against?
I would say I'm pretty good on top. Especially this year, I got pretty good at tilts, but definitely my cradle. I do a cradle, almost every match. I've done it almost my whole career. So that's definitely the biggest thing that people would look at.
And, over the course of the season, obviously, the top moments will be those state winning matches. But, excluding those, just looking at the regular season, what were some of the big matches that you really look back on and think, hey, those are some of the top moments of the year for me?
Definitely against Grand Rapids when I wrestled Christian Jelly. That was the biggest win of the year for me. And I guess holding forward in the section finals, that was just it was really a hype duel, and everyone kind of did their part, and that felt really good to do my part and just kind of make it to state.
And now as you go forward into next year, what's some of those areas of the game you're looking to improve on? Obviously, like you said, trying to find that next thing, trying to find the next high, to be able to get more championships on your belt, what are those things that you're going to be working in over the off season? And as next season gets going, where are the parts of your game you want to make sure you're refining?
Probably just hand fighting still. You can always get better at hand fighting. And then definitely just finishing shots. If you get to a shot and you can't finish it, there's no point shooting. So probably finishing shots and then hand fighting.
Last question here to wrap things up. When you're in the wrestling room every day with the boys, just how fun is that to be around those guys every day? Obviously, you're spending a lot of time around them. You're all cooped up in there. But what is it about being with those guys that makes it all worth it? I
think so. We've been, together for a long time, and so we just really have like a good bond, and the whole team we have a lot of fun in practice, and I don't know. It's a really good group of seniors, so it's going to be hard next year without them. But, yeah, our younger generations are also pretty close too. So
we're talking with Gage Bjerga, the state champion, not only as a team, but for 139-pound weight class in Class A, his second state championship in individual wrestling. Gage, we appreciate the time so much. Congratulations and best of luck as you go into next season.
Thank you.
Welcome back to our state championship recap wrestling special on the morning sports desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner, joined with our 160-pound champion in Class A. It's Colbe Tappe. And Colbe, congratulations on the state championship.
Thank you.
And, just let's go all the way back to the beginning of the season. Obviously, you guys know you're having a great team as a whole. And then looking to yourself, what were the goals that you had coming into the season? Was being a state champion one of them?
Yeah, that's always something, that I've strived for is, being the best that I possibly can. And, being a state champ was one of the goals this year, especially after last year. And so going into the season, I was just mainly focused on getting better every day in the practice room, and the results will come.
What are some of the things when you're out there on the mat you just really pride yourself in, when somebody's got to go against you and they're game planning? What do they say they have to stop about you?
A lot of the kids that I've talked about told me that I stay in really good positions. So, when we're on our feet, it's a lot of the time I have really good baseline defense. So it's hard for kids to get in on shots on me. And that's like one of the things I pride myself on is my baseline defense and then my ability to reattack off of that.
What would you say have been some of your most fun matches of the season? It could be as a team. It could be for you personally. What's just some of the moments throughout the year that you've really enjoyed in wrestling?
I think for this year, my favorite match was definitely against Stillwater. That Grayson Eggum's a really good wrestler. He's ranked in the nation, and that whole duel itself was fun. Even though we ended up losing, I think it really showed that single A teams are a lot better than people think. And we probably could have won that if we wrestled a little bit better, but that's probably my favorite match of the entire year.
What was it like being around your teammates every single day in practice? What was that culture like in practice with the boys? What was it like every day being with them?
It's like a brotherhood. It's, you go in there every day and it's really grueling. Like practices are very, very intense, and every day everybody comes in and, if you want to be there or not, you still go into practice and you work hard, and at the end it feels like a reward. And so that brotherhood really helped all of us to kind of look at practice as more of instead of like a bad thing, it kind of helped us look at it as like a good thing, in that it's just going to get us to where we need to be.
And, you guys came into the year as the defending state champions. Did you guys talk about re-upping on that? What was the conversation like, knowing that, hey, you guys won it once already and that there was a good chance you were going to do it again? What was it like preparing and getting yourselves ready to ultimately go back-to-back?
Yeah, our coaches told us, last year, that was last year. So we need to get back into the wrestling room, and we need to work harder than everybody else in single A and double A, triple A. We need to be the hardest working team in the entire state if we want to go back and win another state title, because, you never know what's going to happen. And so at the end of the day, you need to be the hardest working team because if you're not, people are going to pass you. And that was kind of the conversation that the coaches had with our entire team. And I think we got into the room and worked really hard and focused on, all of our fundamentals, and it really helped us.
For yourself, what's one of the areas over the course of your career you feel like you've gotten really good at as a wrestler? Maybe what's one area of your game that you feel like you've really refined and grown a lot over the last few years?
I would say it would be finishing my attacks. So if we go back to, my freshman and sophomore year, came up short in the state finals, and both of those matches, at the end of the match, I was in deep on a shot, couldn't finish. And so I talked to my club coach and kind of asked him what he saw within those matches. And he was saying I was struggling with my singles and trying to, finish my attacks. And so we worked on it over the course of a year. And I feel like I got really good at finishing my single leg and all of my attacks. And so that's one thing I've refined within the last few years.
When you guys were down at the state tournament, let's first talk about the team portion for a second. When you guys got down there, you got to the championship match, you guys won again for the back-to-back year. What was that feeling like amongst your team when you guys kind of got to celebrate that championship?
It was a very surreal feeling. You don't even realize that, the significance of what you just did until people start telling you, it's been 40 plus years since we've went back to back and even won a state title. And so you don't really realize that when you're down there until people start telling you. And it's just a very surreal feeling.
And then you went to the team, the individual portion rather, and you wrestled throughout the weekend. And, just talk about the mentality you have to have throughout the individual tournament, knowing that you're kind of up and waiting and then up and waiting. And, just talk about the mentality you need to have down at state.
Yeah, you got to be very, very disciplined, especially if your team makes it as well, because, you get down there on the first day and you got to make weight 4 days, and you got to be very mentally disciplined and physically disciplined, because if you aren't, then you're going to have to deal with the consequences of not cutting weight right, or not getting the nutritious foods and, liquids you need to strive in that environment. And so if you're not disciplined, you might as well have not got there, because it's a very, very tough 4 days for everybody.
All right, one last question to wrap things up. How do you look back on your time in Staples-Motley Cardinal Wrestling, and just what's your message to those wrestlers who are still sticking around for the next couple of years?
It really taught me, leadership skills and a lot of life lessons, especially when I was, 7th and 8th grade and didn't make it to state. It teaches you how to rebound and how to become a better, individual. Because if you wait and don't work hard when you're in the wrestling room, or work hard at anything, then you fall behind. And you can kind of see that with a lot of kids that tend to slack. And so it just taught me how to strive in an environment like that, and taught me a lot of life lessons along the way, and how to balance student athlete. So message I would say for kids sticking around is make sure you take practice serious and stick out with wrestling, because it'll teach you a lot along the way.
We're talking with Colbe Tappe, the state champion in Class A, not only for the Staples-Motley Cardinals as a team, but in the Class 160 weight group as well. Colbe, congratulations and best of luck throughout your senior year.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for watching this episode of the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. We're going to take a little break from the video here to remind you about all the great things that the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena has going on throughout the week. There is so much to do at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, and so many things that they offer for you and your family. If you look at Mondays, half-priced games in the FunZone Arcade, half-price play Mondays, every Monday at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Tuesdays, kids 10 and under eat free, one kid per full-priced adult. I know so many families that say Tuesday is our Pizza Ranch day. We love taking it out. It's like a weekly tradition for everybody to hang on out at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Wednesdays are double points day for your ranch rewards, for your FunZone cards, for all that great stuff. You get double points. That's like doubling your money, doubling the deals, doubling all the great stuff when you go to Wednesday's double points day at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena every single Wednesday. Thursday is a wing night on the buffet. Those things are so tasty, different sauces, different flavors, and you get to enjoy those boneless wings at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Every Thursday is their buffet specialty with the wing night on the buffet. Monday through Saturday, tons of super fun in the arcade. You can do stuff all the time, playing those great games, doing those great things, getting points, and turning that into prizes. Some of the best prizes around recently in Anthony Edwards autographed basketball was one. There's mystery jerseys, mystery autographed helmets. There are just so many things. Pokemon cards, baseball cards, football cards, candy, anything you want. The Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade has it. PlayStations, Yeti coolers, giant teddy bears. I don't know. Whatever prize you can conceive imaginable, it's hanging up for you at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Go check them out. Highway 71 right in downtown Wadena. You can't miss them. You'll see the big Pizza Ranch logo, and you'll also see just the glow, the appeal of the FunZone Arcade as you drive past. It's the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Go check them out. All right, back to the video. Continuing coverage of our morning sports desk special, meeting with some of the state champion wrestlers across our region. We're talking with Tegan Detloff of Perham, who was the class AA 172-pound champion. Tegan, congrats on the state championship.
Thank you.
A lot of things going into this season. Let's just go all the way back. Was state champion something that was a goal for you, or was it just something that kind of happened along the way?
Yeah, it was definitely a goal. You know, it's been since I've been young, be a state champ. And I knew like last year I was close, but the kid got me or whatever. So I was like, just kind of redemption. I want to get back there and, left bad taste in my mouth, wanted to get that championship and not just be runner up.
And, as you go through the season, what are a few matches that have stood out to you as some big time kind of like, oh, that was my favorite, or I really enjoyed that one? Are there any kind of highlight matches that stick out to you throughout the season?
Yeah, a couple. There was a couple early on, and then there's some that stick out too, like bad. Like I had a couple bad matches at the beginning, just kind of, it's good though to have those. So I learned from them and like realized what I need to work on. Then there's, those fun matches were close. I had a couple overtime matches and then a couple beat some ranked kids, ranked number one in different classes, and just beat some kids from different states and stuff. Those are fun matches, and then just learning from them and using what I'm good at and just using that stuff.
Was there ever a particular match or a particular opponent who, when you beat them or wrestled against them and you're like, yeah, I think I could win state this year? Or is it just something that you kind of knew all along?
Yeah, I wrestled that Cameron Halverson from Barnesville. He's a state champ at Singlay, and when I wrestled him and I beat him, that kind of just gave him some more confidence. Like, oh, that's a really good wrestler that I just beat, and just kind of made me realize that I have that. I'm at that level right now, and like that could be a state champ. Kind of gave me that confidence and gave me that realization.
And what do you think is one of the areas that just you're really strong at on the mat? Something where when an opponent looks to wrestle you, they go, hey, we got to stop him because he does this really well. What do you think that is for you?
I'd say probably my low single and single leg. That's what I shoot like most of the time is a lot of that and just being on my feet. A lot of kids try to wrestle me different on my feet because they know that's where I want to be. And just mostly single legs and some high crotches and just hand fighting.
And what do you think is one of the areas of your game that you've really refined over the course of the last few years? Where do you think is just one of the areas that you've gotten best at on the mat or just really improved at on the mat?
I've been a lot of coaches have worked with me on hand fighting, and I've definitely had to improve, get better at that. Because when I was younger, I was never really a hand fighter, and that you realize that to be a high level, you have to be a good hand fighter. You got to be good on your feet and got to be able to push the pace. And so, just learning that stuff helped me out a lot and brought me to that next level.
You guys as a team for the Yellow Jackets won your section, got back to the state tournament. What's it been like in practice every day with the boys, and just how fun is it being in the wrestling room with everybody?
Oh, it's so fun with all of them. Everybody's just, they have the same mindset. They all just want to win. It's just awesome. We get to have fun, but we're also serious. And it's like we work hard, but also have fun at the same time. So it's just fun to be around the guys and work hard with them and just look next to you and just be like a family. It's awesome.
What was it like getting to go down to the state tournament with them, winning your section? What would you say was kind of some of the highlights for you guys as a team this season?
Yeah, I'd say definitely we took a couple losses earlier on, just kind of like made us a little nervous. So like, okay, we got to work hard. We got to get back. And yeah, just winning that section was awesome. It just definitely brought everybody together. And then getting down to state tournament was like, and then we got in that first duel and we're in it. We're like, we can have a chance to win this. And we actually have a chance here. Like, let's put it all in. So it's just fun to have the rest of the team down there. It's so much fun. And these guys are just amazing to be with. So it was awesome.
And, when you get down to that state individual tournament and you're down there, what's one of the biggest things that you have to be a state champion wrestler? When you're down on the mat, you're waiting all day for your matches, you're getting ready to roll. What's kind of the biggest thing that you think is important to winning a state championship as an individual?
Yeah, you definitely got to have that grit and just stay locked in. We sat around for a while waiting for those matches. You just kind of have to just stay locked in. Don't lose focus and just kind of having that grit, because 7 matches in 3 days, it's a lot. It definitely wears on your body. You just got to have that mental toughness to push through and all that stuff. So yeah, and they're just staying locked in and focused on wrestling the whole time. Just have fun after, but focus on wrestling when you're in it.
Just as you kind of look back on everything, what's some word of advice that you would give to your teammates? What's something you would, kind of looking forward to next year? Just what's kind of that words of encouragement you have for your teammates as everybody kind of keeps going into next year?
Yeah, definitely. Keep working hard. We have a good team or whatever. We just got to keep working hard and, help each other out and don't be coachable. Just listen to your coaches. Be able to put that hard work in, because it'll pay off. And yeah, just have fun with it and don't make it a business. Just have fun with it but also work really hard at the same time.
Talking with Tegan Detloff here on the Morning Sports Desk. He's the AA champion in the 172-pound weight class. Tegan, congrats on the state championship and best of luck.
Thank you.
Want to congratulate all of our local wrestlers on making the state tournament, and want to congratulate especially our state champion wrestlers in Central Minnesota and putting a bow on this wrestling season. Appreciate you guys following us all throughout. And now we turn our attention to basketball playoffs and to spring sports. More information on the Morning Sports Desk, wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube. Always follow Sports Cow on Facebook.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.